New updates in the story of former DOGE staffer Edward Coristine, who was assaulted in August.
Coristine was reportedly jumped by up to 10 juveniles in Washington, D.C. Now, 2 of those teenagers charged in the assault are avoiding jail time. A report from D.C.'s CBS affiliate says the 2 individuals are a 15-year-old boy and a 15-year-old girl. Now, the report said on Tuesday the 15-year-old boy was sentenced to 12 months probation and the girl pleaded guilty to simple assault and will serve 9 months probation.
The 19-year-old Coristine was a key member of Elon Musk's DOGE initiative to shrink the government. Authorities say the group of teenagers attempted to carjack him and his girlfriend. Coristine says the ensuing assault left him with a broken nose and a concussion. After the announcement of the teenagers avoiding jail time, he responded on X, writing, "To this day, they've only caught 2 out of the 10. 8 of them remain on the street. That night could have gone far differently. Think of your daughters and mothers. The same group attacked people before and after us, breaking ribs and stomping heads. This senseless crime must be stopped." Just a week after the assault, President Trump announced he was sending in National Guard troops, purportedly to deter crime in the nation's capital. Tuesday's verdict was handed down by DC Associate Judge Kendra Briggs. When asked about the verdict, President Trump had this response.
Jeanine Pirro is doing a fantastic job, and she is beside herself because you have these radical left judges that they beat the hell out of this guy. And there was many people against this one guy who was really trying to protect his girlfriend. He didn't want his hooded over the door but they really beat him up badly. That just happened, right? Yeah. Wow, that's terrible.
Elon Musk also responded to the news, writing on X, "This was a racist verdict by a racist judge. The simple test to apply is if the races had been reversed, the white kids would be in prison, equal justice for all." I should note that the identity of the teens is being concealed since they are juveniles. It's standard practice not to report names if they are underage. So it's not been officially confirmed what race they are. In my personal capacity, I know very well what race they are, but the race of them doesn't matter to me, and I actually don't agree with Elon that they would necessarily be
either. No.
Yeah, or if you're going to say, you got to make some, well, give me the circumstance then in the same venue where it went the other way and they got more.
That's just Elon shooting his mouth off as usual, saying the most inflammatory possible thing.
Now, I think, set that aside, I think it is fine to disagree with this necessarily. So to me, the bigger thing is, why were the 8 other people not apprehended or any charges brought against them? If these people usually how it works is you get a lesser sentence when you inform on. Clearly they should know the individuals, the other people still at large. I absolutely get why Trump and other people, sound outraged about this. I looked at it a little bit more closely. They're going to have to wear ankle monitors. They're going to be effectively under house arrest. They cannot set foot in the District of Columbia. So it's a little bit more than just like it's a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Even a probation charge can impact you. The charges were simple assault, and the maximum sentence you can get for simple assault, according to the law in D.C., is, I think, 120 days in prison. You can certainly argue that would have been justified in this case. 120 days in prison versus however many months of house arrest and ankle monitor, and you're restricted in other ways. Certainly prison is worse because prison is pretty bad. Nobody wants to go to prison for any length of time, but that's what they were charged with. I gather it's a first offense for them, which makes it a little bit different. I'm not a bleeding heart liberal. I used to be. I'm not anymore about crime in our cities, so I'm certainly open to the idea that the charges should have been more serious, but my point is they're 15, and according to the law, it's not like they can go away to prison for 5 or 10 years. It's not possible under the sentencing statute. It's the most you could get will be 3 months in prison.
Right.
Maybe that's what was appropriate, but it's not. That's the difference I'm saying between what they got and what the maximum they could have got under the law isn't quite as stark in this case as is sometimes the case with these judges who are giving very, in my view, lenient sentences.
Right. And the people who are arguing that the sentence should have been much more severe are just jumping past the fact that these people are juveniles. And it is expressly written that the purpose of the juvenile justice system places a far greater primacy on rehabilitating people or getting them off a trajectory of criminal behaviour, and has less of a punitive motivation than the adult justice system. I, having read up about this in terms of sentencing that is typically applied to juveniles convicted of simple assault, I'm not at all persuaded that this is out of the normal bounds. Yes, the maximum sentence would have been slightly greater, but, I mean, first offence, maximum sentences often aren't applied. The other thing, which none of us know really, is among the 8 people who apparently got away with it, so to speak, do we know who inflicted the most damage? You know, do we know that these 2 people who are sentenced were the, you know, ringleaders, not the ringleaders?
I think we don't know that because it's not a case that just these 2 were charged. It's the case that, well, I mean, just these 2 were charged because the identities of the other people are not known. It's not as if the police sat down and said, which of these 10 figures do we think is most responsible, or there's enough evidence to charge them. Those are the ones we're charging. It's these are the 2 whose identities are known to us. Which, again, frankly, does not suggest to me that a lot of terrific police work is being done because they were in a group of, you have 2 of the people who were in a group. So you should be able to deduce who the other people were or induce them to cooperate, in which then I would support the lower, you know, this is how it works. We've all watched police procedurals. You report on, and then if you're not going to do that, then you get the book thrown at you.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe it's different for juveniles, and they're 15. It's not like, you know, when in the 16 to 18 range, there's some discretion that sentencing departments have, because in some states you can be sentenced as an adult at 16, but there's no municipality where under 16 you can be sentenced as an adult.
Right, and I just feel that a lot of people on the right or the MAGA side of things are actually advocating for unfairly punitive sentences, or sentences, as you say, that simply aren't available to in relation to a 15-year-old, as part of trying to propel this other narrative about crime. I mean, Trump was talking again at an event yesterday about Washington, D.C., and to my mind, he just spins a complete fantasy about how people were terrified to come out of their, you know, front doors, and now everyone's dining out. In fact, you know, reservations at DC restaurants dipped soon after he did the National Guard thing, because people, naturally enough, didn't like wandering around in the presence of troops.
I don't know, Niall. I'm very libertarian, but I've certainly gotten used to it. I have to be perfectly honest. I feel somewhat safer in my neighborhood with the troops everywhere. I do. I absolutely do.
I feel much less safe. I went to get a slice of pizza the other night, and there were like 4 troops in the pizzeria, and I was like, oh, I hate that. Why am I having my pizza under the eye of soldiers?
It bothers you?
It does bother me, yeah. It does bother me.
I always thought it would bother me, but I don't know.
A divide, Robbie. A divide in these matters.
Next up, conservatives are praising actress Keira Knightley over her response to a question about J.K. Rowling. We'll be right back after this.